Thank you for watching RooTV.
Welcome back to another episode of RooTV. I'm Deja McKenzie.
And I'm Sydnee Bryant.
Roo News had an exclusive interview with UMKC Chancellor Mauli Argawal last week. Stay tuned to hear about his vision for UMKC moving forward. UMKC's Women's Center hosted a Feminist Film Friday featuring the first episode of the new Netflix series, Ladies First, a story of women in hip-hop. Chelsea Duckworth, the senior program coordinator for the Women's Center, organized the event to highlight and celebrate the women who made waves in the genre, both in front and behind the camera. When I heard about the Netflix series, I just knew we had to do it. There was no question, Duckworth said. We always try to focus on women's issues and women's experiences in spaces that they're not really recognized. The episode included discussions of hard work, fighting for the spotlight, and the passion it takes to follow your dreams. The artists MC Storm and DJ Dupe answer questions about their time as UMKC students and how hip-hop has changed their lives. Hip-hop is important to me because that's all I did when I was growing up. It really shaped me to who I am as a person, Storm said. I have a song that talks about my first love, and hip-hop is really my first love. Dupe explained that hip-hop helps her deal with her feelings. Hip-hop was a way for us to express our pain and our emotion. And now that it's evolved, this is how we're coming together and having fun. This is us going through life together.
Jury Hernandez, a third-year MFA acting candidate at UMKC, didn't expect to find a career in acting, but KC Rep Spencer Theater helped her grasp her lifelong dreams. Hernandez began her education in Hawaii, pursuing elementary education while doing small shows for her local college theater. After participating in a small indie feature film and receiving encouragement from her producers, she realized there needed to be a change in her course plan. Through URTA, a yearly event held to bring in MFA students to audition for top theater programs nationwide, she was recruited to UMKC. Their belief in me helped me realize that even if it was going to be hard, I wanted to try. I didn't want to live life regretting that I didn't do it. That was the push, Hernandez said. Getting into the program was a reaffirmation that I should keep going. KC Rep provided her with the chance to be a part of the creation of roles, especially with the wardrobe and character development. She said that 4 years ago, she couldn't have imagined being in this position now. I never thought I would be doing this, like working with James Chun, who was on The Walking Dead. For it to come to reality is mind-blowing. She plans on graduating in the spring of 2024 and plans on lining up auditions that she's seeking out theaters that she loves.
Now, let's hop on over to the den with Jackson Ogden and hear about that Chiefs' big win.
Welcome back into the den. I'm Jackson Ogden. Let's get today started off with UMKC athletics because it's a very busy time for our Roos. Volleyball did what they've done all year in last week's action, win. They took on South Dakota in 4 sets before taking down Oral Roberts in just 3 sets to improve to 13-3 on the season and 4-0 in the conference. They currently sit alone at the top of the Summit League standings with a big matchup at Denver on Saturday. Men's soccer hit the road for a conference match against St. Thomas and came home with a result as they drew 1-1. They sit at 2-3-4, and no, I'm not counting, that's the record, on the season and are 4th in the conference standings. Women's soccer broke the streak of 6 consecutive draws, but unfortunately not in a good way, falling to Oral Roberts 5-2. The loss moves them to 1-4-7 and 7th in the conference as they take on St. Thomas this Thursday at 7 p.m. right here at Durwood Soccer Stadium. Now on to the Chiefs. What in the world was that game against the Jets last night? I mean, it started out just as expected. The offense and defense were rolling, getting out to a 17-point lead. Then the walking penalty god himself, Jawan Taylor, costed the Chiefs a safety with a face mask, and the game just went sideways from there. I mean, some Freaky Friday stuff went down. I mean, Zach Wilson turned into a competent quarterback, and Patrick Mahomes looked dazed and confused. Now, calm down. The world would return to normal with about 7 minutes to go, as Zach Wilson had a hilariously bad fumble, and Mahomes put the team on his back to secure a 23-20 Chiefs win. They'll head to Minnesota to take on the Vikings this Sunday. Now, as if the Jets game didn't scare me enough, it is now officially spooky season, and Jazlyn Summers and Ray Dean have us covered on what to watch all month long. Let's see what they have for us in store this week.
Hello everyone and happy October. My name is Jazlyn Summers.
And I'm Ray Dean.
Welcome to the RooTV Spooky Special, where we will recommend and review some new and old horror movies for everyone.
While we have our favorite titles and slashers, we wanted to highlight a local event happening all throughout October.
Shocktober is a tradition held by the Screenland Armour Theater in North Kansas City. Plenty of new and old horror movies are being shown on the big screen, which is cool for people who weren't around to see these older movies when they first hit the theaters. One thing I've always enjoyed is the scary atmosphere of watching a horror movie in a cold and dark theater.
Personally, I think this Shocktober's lineup is enough to make anyone scream. I know that I'm most excited to see Zawalski's Possession on the big screen. In terms of new horror, you can anticipate Saw X, the newest addition to the ever-growing Saw franchise, alongside The Exorcist Believer, a newly imagined sequel to the original 1973 film.
A few weeks ago, I binge-watched all of the Saw movies, and I can confidently say it is one of my favorite movie franchises ever. I can't tell whether I'm more obsessed with the complex traps that people have to solve in order to survive, or the thrilling plot that just sucks you into every single movie.
I can see where people can sometimes get exhausted by the now 10 movies in the saga, but I'm reminded by its campy, gory charm whenever I watched the first 2004 movie. Two main characters where the worst possible things can happen, and yet the show somehow still goes on. Definitely not for the faint of heart or sensitive stomachs to watch.
Be sure to watch our segment next week as we talk about some classic horror movies that every horror lover should see at least once.
Welcome back to Lifestyle and Culture. I'm your host, Joshua Cunningham. And first, before we get into what I want to talk about, I got to apologize to you guys. I've been gone for some time, I wanted to take a step back from music personally, but also, just had to take a step back. But I know I've missed a lot. I've missed the Chiefs game, which are now important to me because Taylor Swift is going and everyone seems to care about it a lot, although I don't care about it that much. But, Olivia Rodrigo's album came out when I was gone, and I should have gave a review about that. And then there's another album I wanted to give a review about that I haven't. But we're not going to do those reviews today. I need to still listen to those albums. Maybe once I listen to them, I give you a review. But today, we're going to focus on the topic of Afro beats. Recently, these last few weeks, I've really gotten into Afro beats, and there are three main reasons why. First, I want to start off with the vibes, right? Every time you listen to Afro beats, it just feels like you're at a party. You can be doing your homework. You could actually be at a party. You could be driving in your car. It doesn't matter what you do. It feels like you're at a party, and I love that. I'm not the biggest dancer, but if someone turns on some Afro beats, I might start moving my shoulders. I might start, doing some moves. But another thing to me that's very important about it is the culture. I just love the African culture surrounding it. It makes me feel like I'm coming back to my roots, you know what I mean? It's just really good to listen to for that culture. And then just the artists and songs, right? One of my favorite artists by the name of Tems, it's spelled T-E-M-S, which is kind of weird, is a part of Afro beats, and her songs are just some of my favorite songs. It all started anyways by her when I listened to Free Mind. It's just so good. I kept posting on my Instagram. If you've been following me, you've seen me post it a few times because it's just such a good song. And another good one by her is Ice-T. I love it so much. I mean, it's stuck in my head right now. I'll probably listen to it after this. And then the last song you probably have heard in a sample of a Future song called Wait For You featuring Drake. It's Higher. I mean, that was her singing that little chorus part. It was, a sample, and it's a really good sample. And obviously, Burna Boy, you have to shout out Burna Boy as an artist. I mean, he really put it on the map for everyone else. And then there's two songs I just love so much that I've been bumping a lot recently. People by Libianca, I think is how you say her name. And then Kulo Sa by Oxalate. I don't know if that's how you say his name, but I think it is. I'm trying my best, But Afrobeats is really just amazing. Like I said, the vibes are great. I love feeling like I'm at a party wherever I go. The culture is amazing around it, and the artists are just so good. The songs are amazing, obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking about it. But that really is all the time I have for today. I want to thank you guys for listening, and tune in next week or just the rest of the semester to see my opinions about more music.
Chancellor Agrawal looks forward to growing community connections, increasing research funding, and developing UMKC's campus for future Roos in its next half-decade with the university. All of the new local involvements led Agrawal to seek even more ways to strengthen the bond with the Kansas City community. He mentioned a potential partnership with women's sports organizations as they grow in KC, as well as working on the branding of existing connections. He also hopes to grow the university by making physical changes that will encourage students not only to live on campus, but for commuter students to stay on campus for longer. One effort he plans to make is for UMKC to be more pedestrian-friendly and enjoyable to walk through by closing 51st Street from Miller Nichols Library to the Student Union. In the future, Agrawal said UMKC will make the streetcar station an area that promotes community and prioritizes student needs. Wherever is there will be the first impression of UMKC for people, Chancellor Agrawal said. This can become a very important destination point and gives us the opportunity to develop the Western Getaway to UMKC. The Brookside project is still in its proposal stage, and the Chancellor said they are considering a student-friendly retail center, on-campus housing, and an arena. The administration is hoping to make significant progress in the next 5 years to stay in line with the streetcar development. Thanks for watching this week's episode of RooTV.
Don't forget to hop on the subscribe button and follow us on Instagram at RooTV UMKC. See you next week.
I don't know.
Don't forget to hop on the subscribe button and follow us on Instagram at RooTV KC. See you next week.
You okay?